Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I was just looking at this Jack Bauer 24 DVD box set. This doesn't feel right. You know, this is still missing something. Perfect. Say a Jack Bauer. It's what we all want. Welcome back to Breaking Down 24. It's the official title of the series. I know. It's great. The following video takes place between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. on the day of the California Pizza Kitchen. This video is in real time. I'm Alex, and my co-host, say a Jack Bauer. We talk about episode 2. Episode starts. Mandy lands in the desert after everything that happened at the end of the last episode. Nina tells Jack she hasn't heard from Walsh. He's not answering his calls. And then Tony, in front of everyone, calls out Jack.
Jack. What?
What's going on?
You want to tell me what's going on around here tonight?
And then Jack's just like, oh, besides a plane going down and an attempt on a presidential candidate. And then Tony's like, no, about George Mason. I immediately was like, it's because he knocked over the table. No, unfortunately, it's just because he disappeared for 30 minutes and then limped out. And while this is happening, Tony attracts a crowd. Everyone's just kind of standing up and going like, what's going on over there? Then Nina jumps in, thinks she's going to shove Jack under the bus.
Tell him, Jack.
But she doesn't. Instead, she gives some grade A BS story about other agents and corruption and, stuff he's dealt with before. And everyone's just like, yeah, I buy that. Then you cut to some people reacting and get some murmurs from the crowd, and then everyone just kind of leaves. And then Tony's just like, okay, I'll do my job, I guess. And Jack's just like, thank you.
Thank you.
Tony goes back to his desk. Back to Mandy. She started a bonfire, burned all the clothes, because I guess that's standard protocol after you murder an entire plane's worth of people. And then right when her ride shows up, she then decides to hide the ID in some fancy device in the sand, and then gets up and leaves. She gets in the Jeep, they drive away. Right after she leaves, someone comes up, uses a little sensor from the movie Alien, finds the ID. Pretty sneaky, sis. It doesn't make sense that she had to hide it, because the guy that picked her up didn't even check the area. He just kind of was like, okay, get in, and then they left. And the person on the bike was obviously waiting, and they could have handed it off beforehand. Seemed a little silly and unnecessary. Tony talks to Nina about how she's a good liar, because, they're blanket and stuff, and that she did something similar on a trip they were on at a place nobody cares. But it's happened before, and he remembers it. Tony's paying attention. Terry and Alan are in a car. They finally get to the furniture store. Finally. They pull up, and they notice that Janet's car is still there. So they go inside and start digging around. They notice that the store is a mess. Jack calls, and Terry, immediately hangs up on him. She pulls a Jack, pretty much. Just hangs up on him, and then they keep digging around the store. And the best part is Alan's definitive proof that the kids were there is he finds a condom. I mean, at least they were wrapping it, right? Right? Right, say it, Jack? All right. Kim is in the van, panicking, while Janet up front is kind of sleepy, dreamy. Obviously been given something. She then mentions her dad's alive and is a government agent. And they're like, what? Nobody cares. Just chill. Everything's fine. Okay? Just chill. Now, Walsh meets up with a sketchy salesman of a 3-day bender, Scott. And Scott has some evidence about the hit on Palmer. Scott gives Walsh a blue key card, because apparently we're playing Doom. And then some BS about the stripe on the card has tons of data about the hit and all that crap. But how much data can be in a stripe? When fruit stripe gum only has 14 seconds of flavor, how much data can you have in a stripe? He gives it to Walsh, and then they start making their way out. And Scott's panicking. He's like, I gotta get out of here. I had to rush my family out of here. And Walsh is like, bro, you're fine. I need your help for another 24 hours. Title of the show drop. Interesting play. Scott's not having it, so he wants to get out of there. Walsh convinces him. And the second Scott says, okay, I'll stay for another 24 hours, gun down immediately. And then Walsh gets shot in the arm. And then Walsh calls Jack with his cellular telephone and says, I need help. You have to come to this specific building. Tell nobody. Bring no one else. You're the only person I can trust. Get here fast. And then he hangs up. And what's funny is when Walsh hangs up, on the roof, it kind of makes the Metal Gear Solid continue gunshot sound. That one, pretty funny. A little dramatic, because he didn't shoot at anyone. Because there's 2 shooters, and they're both still alive when he gets there. Now Jack calls Terry in the furniture store, just calling for a checkup. And Terry's like, can you just get down here already? And Jack's just like, bro, serious stuff is going down. I'm busy. I can't talk about it. I'm busy. And Terry's like, our daughter is missing. Can I get some help here? And Jack's like, listen, she's not missing. She knows her limits. It's all good, Tara. And Terry's like, well, you should come down here and see those limits. So dramatic, Tara. Jeez.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
Jeez. Jack's dealing with some real serious shit right now, okay? You found one used condom, not like 40. It's fine. Meanwhile, Kim is being gaslit that everything's gonna be fine. Just go along with it. We're cool, we swear. You know who says that? Never cool people, and never people you should be calm around. Janet up front starts choking. Dan doesn't care. Kim's like, she's choking. Kim jumps up to the front to help, gets tossed back by Dan, and then Rick goes and helps Janet. And then, of course, Dan throws out some total bro energy.
Don't be a bitch.
Now back over here, David goes to talk with Sherry to tell her about the whole thing with Maureen Kingsley. Not a big deal. Everything's fine. We're protected, especially with Allstate. Sorry, last one. He plays it off as nothing, but clearly it's not nothing. Did you see it? And let me show you the moment it happens again, because apparently nobody can put things together anymore. So when you watch some new Netflix show, the last episode is really the episode before that, and the actual last episode is just them wrapping things up and showing you things and being like, oh, remember this thing that happened 4 episodes ago? Wow. So everything is still written, but you have to wait a full month before you see 4 episodes instead of reality where you watched it on a Sunday afternoon and you saw that less than 4 hours ago, but we're still doing slow pans across the room showing the people being like, ooh, that's that character, ooh. But let's really zoom in. Let's really zoom in and get really close so everyone can put it together because we're Netflix. We need to make sure everyone gets it. We gotta make sure everybody gets it so the keyboard people calm down and don't get mad about Shady Sands. The bomb was dropped after Shady Sands fell. Okay, people? Pay attention. Fall of Shady Sands. Arrow leads to bomb. The bomb was not the fall of Shady Sands. Thank you. Mandy arrives at some rundown shack, introducing Ira Gaines, the person that is paying Mandy for what she just did. $1 million reduce. Interaction's so funny. She's not feeling it, and he's just like, hey, what are you doing this summer? You want a job? And she's just like, nah. Jack arrives at some building, calls Nina to get the code to enter the north side entrance, which is some fun technology. But also, she gives him the code, he goes in, immediately hangs up on her.
I'm in.
Jack.
No wonder why nobody likes him, because he asks for help, they help him, he hangs up on them. 10 out of 10. But uh-oh, what's happening? Tony's creeping. And then they just show Tony just like this, like, They really cheese it up when they want you to think something's happening. It's amazing. Jack goes in the building, heads to the roof, finds Walsh. Back at the shack, Mandy is just showing off her blouse bunnies in the bathroom. Then some guy comes in and really looks like Martin Belkin. Creepy. So it's just some blonde, face-off version of Martin Belkin. It's like looking at Martin Belkin, only not. Still topless. She's just standing there staring at him. And they definitely found a way to make Martin look creepier. Pretty sure it's the blonde hair. Just saying. Back at the CTU, Tony starts grilling Nina. Like, what's going on? Why are you lying to me? And she just pulls rank. I outrank you, so what I tell you to do, you do it. The end. And he's like, all right, cool. Second we clock out, we're something different, and you don't outrank me anymore. And she's like, yeah, true. Back to Jack and Walsh. They're going down some stairs. They bandage him up, get him all good. Walsh says, thank you, I owe you my life. And Jack's like, no, I owe you my life. So clearly they have history together. Great job, dialogue. The way they talk about this building, Jack's never been in it. But clearly he has. He's like, hey, across the mezzanine, and then we cut through, and that's our exit. Of course, he just happens to know the layout of the goddamn building. Because it's Jack Bauer. He knows everything. That wasn't what part of Nina gave him. Nina gave him the access code, and then he hung up on her, remember? So, Then they spot one of the shooters. They're going in one of the offices, and the shooters definitely go to the Hans Gruber School of Offense because they...
Schießt den Fenster.
What?
Shoot the glass.
shoot the glass. So now there's glass everywhere and they're crawling through it. It's like heavy rain. Jason!
Jason!
And then Jack does some sick hand commands. Then they take down one of the guys. Not with the hand commands. They shoot him with a gun. That would make it a very different show. And then they must be playing on easy because the second guy just kind of runs around, not crouching or cover or anything. So they just, unload on him. And then Jack's like, I gotta get an ID. I don't know why he talks like that. He's more monotone. It's like, I gotta get an ID.
I'm gonna go ID him.
Goes over to the guy. You think he's gonna start feeling his pockets, grabbing a wallet or whatever. Nope. Oh, no. Pulls out an already bloody rag, takes his pulse, make sure he's dead, and then the music kicks in. He then grabs his hand and cuts his finger off with a knife. It's also really easy to cut his finger off. Apparently it's that easy. Good to know. Back to the Lost Boys, the biker from earlier, introducing Bridget. Bridget's working with Mandy on this operation, but she has her own plan, and let's say her plan is not McDonald's, because Mandy ain't loving it. So she's holding the card ransom for even more money. And Ira can't do anything about it because he doesn't know where it is, and he needs that now. It's a very tight schedule for Gaines's plan, so we cannot dilly-dally. Back to the furniture store. They're just rummaging around now, looking for things. Jack turned off his phone, and they link Dan to the kids, because Dan worked at the furniture store. Terry calls Nina to try to find a way to contact the owner. David's kids get home, introduce Keith and Nicole. Both get home. Nicole goes to bed. Keith is snacking. And then David sneaks out to take a call on how to deal with Maureen Kingsley, and that he needs to take care of this now. Terry and Alan are just cleaning up the furniture store now. Cleaning up after the kids, waiting for the phone call. And they're talking about themselves. And Terry's like, oh, we were separated. And Alan's like, really? I didn't know that. It's like, yeah, you just f***ing met. Like 45 minutes ago. Of course you didn't know that. Oh, stranger, did you know about my life? No, shut up. But anyway, Nina calls and gives Terry the information of the owner, the home phone, which is great. Great thing to have at 1:40 in the morning. So Terry calls, leaves a message. Obviously, they don't answer. It's 1:40 in the morning, and it's a terrible plan. If the owner did answer, what's the plan? Hey, one of your employees hung out at the store and trashed it with my daughter. And they're like, okay, we'll be in at 7. All right, bye. The Secret Service show up. Introducing Aaron Pierce, the head of Secret Service. Then he informs them that there's word of an attempted hit on David Palmer's life. And then they're like, wait, where is he? And while all that is happening, he sneaks out. Heads down to the parking garage. Drives away. Back to them. Jack and Walsh get outside. Finally, get back to the north entrance where Jack parked his car. And then some low-level, lame-ass camping piece of trash starts shooting at them. Just waiting at extraction to shoot them. Bullshit. Walsh goes down. Jack's like, hold on, stop moving. We'll get you some help. Shoots at the nothing and misses, so obviously shoots the building behind him. Super cool, thanks Jack. And then while this is happening, he's on the ground. Bleeding. Like, hey, take this card. Give it to Jamie. She'll let you know whose computer last accessed this card. Whoever's computer it was, obviously is the bad person. Okay? Thanks. I'm bleeding down here. And he throws the card up, but Jack catches it. So now Jack has collected Doom card. When he throws the card, the shooter hits him again and then, takes him out. Jack gets into the car and just punches it. He is going so fast. He flies through that red light. With that, we have to remove. So after speeding, he calms down a little. Jack calls Jamie, tells her to have Division pick up dead bodies at that building, which raises no further questions. Huh? I have this information. How do I scan it? And Jamie is just like, obviously, just scan it in your car. Duh, dummy.
Use your mobile scanner?
Use your mobile scanner, which of course they have. The writing in this is amazing. I love it. It's so ridiculous. And I also love how hard Jack presses the touchscreen. It leaves such a big mark. Always makes me laugh.
Sending this to you directly.
And then Jamie's just like, oh, just switch it from optical to magnetic.
Switch it from optical to magnetic.
Oh, that's it? Just switch to magnetic? I guess I missed the class where you have to do that bullshit. I would have just switched the Flim Flam to Jim Jam instead of the Shimmy 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 to Break of Dawn Euro. But I guess that's just me. So he scans it, sends it to Jamie. Obviously it works instantly because, technology never fails, especially car tech. Van arrives in a very empty parking lot. Janet, still pretty unconscious up front. Dan throws Kim out of the van. They're then like, call your mommy, tell her you're fine, you're going to be home later, NBD, bro. Obviously, Kim is like, no, shut up, I'm not going to do that. So Dan grabs a crowbar, which apparently he had the whole time, and whacks Janet's arm, which of course gets her to make the phone call. So Kim calls Terry, and it's immediately so obvious that Kim is not okay. Like, just listen to her voice.
Cam, is that you?
And then she gives him some bullshit like, we're at some party, I don't even know where we are, and I'll be home later. And Terry's like, I'll pick you up, dummy. Come on, let's fix this now. And Kim's like, no, it's fine. We're good. We'll just see you later. But in reality, none of this matters because there's another hair on the goddamn frame. Whenever Terry is shown from this angle, there's a hair on the bottom of the screen to the left of her. And it's there every time for the next minute and a half. I can't deal with this anymore. They're saying more stuff and I don't care. It's all gone. All I see is that goddamn hair. But anyway, at the end, she says, I love you, Mom. And Terry's just like, pretty suspicious. And then Alan's like, what? What happened? Kim said she loved me. She never says that. And Alan's just like, all right, what's going on with Janet? You know, my daughter. And she's like, yeah, no, they're fine, apparently. She went for a walk. She immediately put it together. Something's not right. It's serious. But it's still there. Come on. What are we doing? Someone get a f***ing cloth. Wipe the lens down. Jack in the car. Still, he sent the info. Jamie sent it back just to him. Because, you know, you can do that. He instantly receives it. Because, you know, technology works in real life. And, of course, the person's desk is Nina Myers. So, of course, cut back to Nina at work, just walking around and just being like, I'm obviously bad. Because the show lives for that. It's either she's bad or she's just bored. It honestly could be either. I've done the same thing at work. There's the quick shot of everyone, and then an egg on a fence that just explodes. It gets shot by the face-off version of Martin, 2 a.m.